Nestled in the remote town of Soleiletsk, near Russia's border with Kazakhstan, stands one of the world's most formidable correctional facilities, the Black Dolphin Prison. Officially known as Penal Colony No. 6, this institution has garnered an infamous reputation for housing some of Russia's most heinous criminals. The prison's moniker, Black Dolphin, originates from a prisoner-constructed sculpture of a black dolphin that sits prominently at the main entrance. This emblem serves as a stark reminder of the facility's purpose and the nature of its inhabitants. Established as far back as 1745, Black Dolphin initially functioned as a jail for those sentenced to life at hard labor. Following the suppression of Pugachev's rebellion in 1773, the prison was updated to confine robbers and other serious offenders. Over the centuries, it has evolved into a maximum security facility designed to contain individuals convicted of the most egregious crimes. Today, Black Dolphin houses approximately 700 inmates, all serving life sentences. The prison's population includes murderers, terrorists, cannibals, and serial killers, individuals deemed too dangerous for other correctional institutions. The prison's architecture and security measures are meticulously designed to prevent escape and maintain strict control over the inmate population. Cells are fortified with 3 sets of steel doors, ensuring multiple layers of security. Inmates are confined to their cells for 23 hours a day, with the remaining hour allocated for exercise in a large, secure cage. During their hour outside the cell, prisoners are kept under restraint, handcuffed, shackled, or both, to limit their mobility and prevent any potential threats. This regimented routine minimizes interactions among inmates, reducing the likelihood of violence or collusion. A distinctive aspect of Black Dolphin's protocol is the method of inmate transportation within the facility. Guards blindfold prisoners whenever they are moved between buildings, preventing them from mapping the prison's layout or planning escapes. Additionally, inmates are escorted in a bent-over position, with a guard holding their handcuffed hands behind their back, higher than their hips. This technique ensures maximum control while depriving prisoners of a clear view of their surroundings. The daily regimen at Black Dolphin is relentless. Inmates are under 24-hour surveillance and supervision. From the moment they awaken until bedtime, approximately 16 hours, they are required to stand and are forbidden from resting or sitting on their bunks. This strict discipline is enforced to prevent lethargy and maintain order within the prison. Meals are simple and functional, consisting of soup served 4 times a day. This diet is designed to provide necessary nutrition while minimizing any potential misuse of food items. Inmates are allowed limited personal items, such as books, newspapers, and a radio, to occupy their time within the confines of their cells. The psychological impact of such an environment is profound. Continuous isolation, stringent routines, and the absence of social interaction can lead to severe mental health challenges. However, the prison's primary objective is to neutralize the threat posed by its inhabitants, often at the expense of their psychological well-being. The staff at Black Dolphin are trained to maintain unwavering vigilance. Every 15 minutes, guards conduct rounds to ensure inmates comply with the rules. Any deviation is addressed promptly to uphold the facility's stringent standards. The prison's location in Soleiletsk adds to its isolation. The remote setting, combined with Russia's harsh climatic conditions, creates a natural barrier against escape attempts and underscores the severity of the inmates' sentences. Black Dolphin's reputation has made it a subject of interest and intrigue. Documentaries and reports have shed light on its operations, offering glimpses into a world rarely seen by outsiders. These portrayals highlight the prison's role in Russia's penal system and its approach to handling the nation's most dangerous offenders. The facility operates under the jurisdiction of the Federal Penitentiary Service of Russia. The administration emphasizes strict adherence to protocols to ensure the safety of both staff and inmates. This rigid structure is deemed necessary given the profiles of those incarcerated within its walls. Critics argue that the conditions at Black Dolphin verge on inhumane, citing the extreme isolation and lack of rehabilitative programs. However, supporters contend that such measures are justified, considering the severity of the crimes committed by the inmates. International human rights organizations have occasionally scrutinized the prison, raising concerns about potential violations. Nevertheless, the Russian government maintains that Black Dolphin operates within legal parameters, focusing on security and public safety. The prison's existence raises questions about the balance between punishment and rehabilitation. While Black Dolphin emphasizes security and containment, it reflects broader debates about the purposes of incarceration and the treatment of those convicted of the most serious offenses. Inmates at Black Dolphin have little hope of release. With life sentences and no parole, the prison becomes their final abode. This reality shapes the institution's culture and the mindset of those within it. The facility's strict regimen leaves little room for personal expression or autonomy. Every aspect of an inmate's life is dictated by prison authorities, reinforcing the idea that they have forfeited their rights due to the severity of their crimes. Some inmates have attempted to adapt to their environment by focusing on religious practices, reading, or other means of mental discipline. However, the overwhelming isolation and lack of social engagement make this a daunting challenge. Despite the prison's rigid structure, security breaches or violent incidents are extremely rare. The intense control measures and the complete removal of prisoners from any external influences contribute to the absence of major disturbances. Black Dolphin serves as a stark example of the Russian penal system's approach to the most dangerous criminals. Unlike other prisons that emphasize rehabilitation, this facility exists solely to contain and neutralize threats to society. While Black Dolphin is known internationally, few people outside Russia truly grasp the extent of its severity. The conditions within its walls rival those of the most notorious prisons in history, solidifying its place as one of the most feared institutions in the world. The prison remains a source of fear even among Russia's criminal underworld. To be sent to Black Dolphin is considered the end of the road, an irreversible fate for those who have committed the worst offenses. Many of the inmates have lost track of time. The monotony of daily routines, the absence of external stimuli, and the strict rules contribute to a distorted sense of reality. Some prisoners mentally retreat into their pasts, while others simply exist in a state of emptiness. Prison guards are trained to suppress empathy. They follow strict guidelines that prevent them from forming any emotional connections with inmates. Conversations are kept to a minimum, reinforcing the notion that Black Dolphin is a place of pure punishment. The long-term effects of life in Black Dolphin are irreversible. Most prisoners never experience human touch again, aside from the physical restraints applied by guards. Over time, many lose their ability to socialize, making them permanently disconnected from the outside world. The prison structure has remained largely unchanged for decades. While minor modifications have been made to enhance security, the core philosophy of complete isolation and control has remained constant. Some journalists and former law enforcement officers who have visited Black Dolphin describe it as a prison within a prison. Even by Russian standards, its level of strictness is unparalleled, making it a place that even hardened criminals fear. The presence of serial killers and cannibals within the same facility adds another layer of darkness to Black Dolphin's reputation. These inmates, many of whom have committed unthinkable crimes, are permanently cut off from society with no chance of redemption. The prison's operations remain largely hidden from public view. While occasional documentaries have offered glimpses inside, Russian authorities tightly control access, limiting what the world sees. Black Dolphin stands as a grim testament to the ultimate consequences of violent crime in Russia. It is a place where redemption is non-existent, where time ceases to have meaning, and where the most dangerous individuals are permanently erased from society. The stories of the inmates inside Black Dolphin are as chilling as the prison itself. Many of them have committed crimes so heinous that they are considered beyond redemption. Some were leaders of violent criminal organizations, while others acted alone in their gruesome pursuits. Among the most infamous prisoners is a man who cannibalized his victims, consuming their flesh in an attempt to absorb their strength. Another inmate was convicted of murdering over 20 people, showing no remorse even after his sentencing. These individuals are locked away permanently, deemed unfit for any form of rehabilitation. The guards who work at Black Dolphin operate under extreme pressure. They must remain constantly alert, as any lapse in discipline could lead to deadly consequences. The inmates they oversee have nothing to lose and would not hesitate to act violently if given the chance. To prevent any potential acts of violence, the guards enforce a zero-tolerance policy for any form of disobedience. Even the smallest infractions are met with immediate punishment, ensuring that no inmate ever challenges authority. Despite their intense training, even the guards admit that working at Black Dolphin takes a toll on their mental well-being. The psychological burden of constantly monitoring killers, rapists, and terrorists can be overwhelming, leading many to retire early from their positions. For the inmates, time moves differently within the prison. The days blend into one another, creating an endless cycle of monotony. Some prisoners stop counting the years altogether, knowing that they will never step outside Black Dolphin's walls again. Many of the prisoners suffer from extreme mental deterioration. The lack of socialization, stimulation, or hope causes some to lose touch with reality entirely. Hallucinations, paranoia, and complete psychological breakdowns are common within the prison's walls. Suicide is not an option at Black Dolphin. The 24-hour surveillance ensures that no inmate has the opportunity to take their own life. Instead, they are forced to live out their sentences, trapped in a permanent state of suffering. While other prisons around the world offer educational programs or therapy to inmates, Black Dolphin provides no such opportunities. The philosophy of the institution is clear: these individuals are beyond saving and are to be contained until death. Even the exercise period, which lasts 1 hour per day, is devoid of any meaningful activity. Prisoners are placed inside a barred cage, barely large enough to move in. They are expected to pace back and forth in silence, with guards watching their every movement. Letters from family members are permitted but must go through a strict screening process. Most inmates, however, have been disowned by their relatives and have no one left to write to them. The few who do receive letters rarely reply, as they have nothing left to say. Unlike in other Russian prisons, Black Dolphin does not have a criminal hierarchy. Inmates are completely isolated from one another, making it impossible to form alliances or power structures. Everyone is treated the same, regardless of their past rank in the criminal underworld. The extreme conditions at Black Dolphin make it a place of despair even for the hardest criminals. There is no chance for parole, no appeals, and no hope of early release. The only way out is in a coffin. Some prisoners still cling to religious faith as a way to cope with their fate. They pray, read religious texts, and try to find meaning in their suffering. But in a place like Black Dolphin, even faith is tested to its absolute limit. Even though it has never been breached, security at Black Dolphin is continuously updated. Every few years, new security protocols are introduced to ensure that no inmate ever escapes. The Russian government spares no expense in keeping the prison impenetrable. Unlike some Western prisons that allow inmates to work or earn privileges, Black Dolphin provides nothing of the sort. There are no jobs, no classes, and no privileges to be earned. Every prisoner is treated as nothing more than a body to be contained. While other Russian prisons have seen riots or uprisings, Black Dolphin remains eerily quiet. The extreme level of control leaves no room for rebellion. Any sign of resistance is met with swift and brutal suppression. The name Black Dolphin has become synonymous with finality. Criminals who are sent there know that their lives, as they once knew them, are over. There is no possibility of escape, negotiation, or second chances. Even outside of Russia, the name Black Dolphin evokes fear. International law enforcement agencies acknowledge it as one of the most secure prisons in the world. No other institution quite matches its level of control. Among Russian prisoners, there is no fate worse than being sent to Black Dolphin. Some criminals have even begged for execution rather than face life within its walls. The psychological torment of knowing there is no escape is enough to break even the strongest minds. Despite the secrecy surrounding the prison, former inmates who were transferred from other facilities have spoken about the horrors within. They describe an environment completely devoid of human kindness or mercy, a place where survival is purely a matter of endurance. The few journalists who have been allowed to document Black Dolphin often leave shaken. They describe a feeling of suffocation, as though even stepping inside the facility drains the hope from one's soul. While the rest of the world debates the ethics of rehabilitation versus punishment, Black Dolphin serves as an unyielding monument to Russia's belief in absolute justice. Those sent here are never given another chance. They are simply removed from society forever. The prison's location in Soleiletsk, far from major cities, adds to its air of isolation. There are no visitors, no court appeals, and no public outcry for the inmates housed there. They are, for all intents and purposes, erased. The cells themselves are barely large enough for a person to stretch out in. A small bed, a toilet, and a metal sink are all that the inmates are given. The walls are bare, and there is nothing to indicate the passage of time. The prisoners do not see the sky. Their only glimpse of the outside world comes from a small, barred window positioned high above eye level. Even then, the view is restricted, showing only the prison's outer walls. Guards have reported that some prisoners stop speaking altogether after years in confinement. With no one to talk to and no reason to communicate, their voices simply fade away. For the Russian government, Black Dolphin is a necessary evil. It ensures that the country's worst criminals never pose a threat to society again. The cost of maintaining such a prison is high, but the alternative is deemed unacceptable. Even among life sentences, Black Dolphin is considered an extreme punishment. Many Russian lifers are sent to other maximum security prisons where they at least have some interaction with others. At Black Dolphin, even that small mercy is denied. Every aspect of the prison is designed to strip inmates of their humanity. They are referred to by numbers, not names. They are told when to eat, sleep, and move. They have no autonomy and no future. Unlike other prisons where inmates can rely on family visits, Black Dolphin permits no physical contact with the outside world. Those locked away here will never touch another human being again. The psychological toll of such isolation has led many inmates to develop severe cognitive decline. Some are unable to form coherent thoughts after years of confinement, their minds breaking down from the sheer emptiness of their existence. Despite its infamy, Black Dolphin remains an enigmatic place. The Russian government tightly controls information about the prison, and few outsiders truly know what happens inside. Every inmate housed within Black Dolphin has committed crimes that shocked even law enforcement. Many were responsible for mass killings, acts of terror, or unspeakable atrocities. This is why no sympathy is extended to them. For the prisoners, each day is indistinguishable from the last. The sun rises and sets, but they will never witness it. Time moves forward, but they remain frozen in place, trapped in a living death. No inmate has ever escaped from Black Dolphin, and it is unlikely that anyone ever will. It stands as a grim and unrelenting fortress, a place where the worst of humanity is buried alive. To this day, no inmate has ever escaped from Black Dolphin. The prison's reputation as an impenetrable fortress remains unchallenged, solidifying its legacy as one of the most secure and feared prisons in the world.